Hey y'all, I'm Chris, and this is It Worth It, y'all? And today we're going to take you along for a couple of treats that we made for the Super Bowl party that we just had, which consisted of Greg and I by ourselves. And we wanted to show you the recipes that we made. We got inspired by watching some videos, so stick around and we'll take you through the recipe. So we are going to make my standard dinner roll recipe, and what I'm dumping into the pot right now, which has our sugar and our yeast in it, is some warm milk and some lard. And so this dinner roll recipe can be found in the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, the white and red checked book that I always use. This recipe comes from that book. New ingredients that we're gonna let this yeast proof, because I do not have quick yeast. I have active yeast, so we're gonna let that proof real quick. It proofed really, really good. So we are also gonna add in, I believe this was like 4.5 to 4.25 cups of flour, and it needed all of it. So we're gonna let the mixer work for us to knead this and start the process of proofing these dinner rolls. I did decide to add some Italian seasoning to this bread recipe. Spoiler alert, turned out amazing, and I think it's an addition that we will continue to use for specific recipes like this, where we use the dinner roll recipe as a dip vessel. We added the eggs to this recipe, and then we let our KitchenAid do the work for us. This dough came together very nicely. I believe that I kneaded this in the KitchenAid itself for, I believe, somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes. As I've stated before, the KitchenAids are not made to make big batches of bread, but this batch, it seemed to be okay. The coloration that you see in here is the Italian seasoning and the eggs that I used. So it looks kind of like off-colored, but it's not. It turned out really, really good. And the trick is what we're getting ready to do with it. We're going to prepare this in a way that we can use it as a dip for the spinach artichoke dip, which is my absolute favorite dip on the planet. So we are going to get this in a ball. We're going to spray the bowl and the dough and let this rise for about an hour until it's at least doubled. Now here's the fun part. We watched Babish. I don't know if you subscribe to his channel or not, but Baking with Babish or something with Babish. Anyway, he did a twist on a monkey bread, and I don't know if you guys know what monkey bread is. It's like pull apart pieces of dough. We used to do them in a bundt pan and then put all the little pieces of dough in there, sprinkle butter and cinnamon and sugar and all that stuff. And so we used to make sweet ones. We did it for a lot for camping and whatnot, but this is a different take. This is a savory version, and this includes rolling up all these little bitty balls and placing them into this cast iron skillet so we can bake them off and the dip at the same time. So I enlisted Greg's help because this ball of dough makes 36 little bitty teeny weeny balls that we have to roll up and put in this pan. So many jokes were had while we were doing this. If you can imagine, Greg and I rolling 36 balls together. So we won't repeat any of those jokes, as this is a family-friendly show. But I'm sure you can only imagine the giggling and childish behavior that ensued as we continue to fill this cast iron skillet full of dough to make monkey bread. All right, now it's time to assemble this dip. We did a good rise on the dough, and I have a little issue with the dough because the top layer of this dough was cooking a heck of a lot faster than the bottom layer and the dip. So I ended up having to like put aluminum foil on top of it, and just to make sure that that top layer of dinner roll did not completely burn. It got a little dark, but it was still edible. It wasn't terrible. And then we put the spinach artichoke dip in the middle, and that took its sweet time getting brown as well. So I've got to adjust maybe time and temperature and try to figure out how to make sure that top layer of dinner roll does not darken too much while we're waiting on the rest of this to finish in the oven. But all in all, the presentation is really cool, and the spinach artichoke dip is good. We've made that before. I'll link the video for you. And it was a really nice snack. I think that if we took this somewhere and presented it in this fashion, I think it would go over pretty well. So we enjoyed this one, and you'll see the final product here after a while. Next on the list, because we didn't think we could survive on not spinach artichoke dip alone, we went ahead and made some pulled chicken BBQ nachos, and those turned out amazing. So right now I'm taking our ugly chicken, rinsing it off, putting it in the bowl, shredding it a little bit just by hand, and then we're adding the hot barbecue sauce that we made a while back. This stuff is amazing. The barbecue sauce is awesome, but it does not like me. So I didn't eat too much of this, but man, it was good. It was good going down, but then my stomach decided not so much. So, and you'll see Greg just loaded up these nachos. They were so good. They look so good. So, and we've been eating leftovers for a hot minute too. So we're going to add enough barbecue sauce to this chicken to just make it look like a good coated barbecue chicken. And then we're going to assemble our nachos. So layering up these nachos, I went ahead and added a layer of chips, add a layer of cheese, add a layer of chips, add some more cheese, and then I put the meat on the top. And I think this worked well. The nachos were still crunchy. I'm using that sprinkled cheese that I don't like, but that's what we got, so that's what I'm using. But it doesn't melt that great. But when you see these nachos after Greg loaded up with all kinds of leftovers that were in the refrigerator that I didn't even think of, these turned out amazing. So that $1.50 bag of tortilla chips that we bought last week, they're gone now. So no more tortilla chips in the house for a minute. And I basically put on the proteins and the cheese, and then Greg doctored it up to the point to where they're unrecognizable, but they are so, so good. And so this is that. It's 1 pint of ugly chicken. So for a pint of chicken or a pint of protein, it's usually like a pound fresh when you buy it. So this is about a pound of chicken. This is a medium-sized sheet pan. This isn't my biggest one, and these aren't my little ones. So, but this was a lot of food, y'all. We've been eating on these for a minute, and they turned out amazing. So here we have the finished dip and bread. And as you can see, those top layer of biscuits, they just got brown. Like I said, they're edible. They're not bad. They just got brown. And I'm so glad we put the Italian seasoning in there. And then look at what Greg did to the nachos. Olives, pepperoncinis. We had some leftover rice from the other day. He added that. And those were some stout nachos, and they were really, really good. I am not complaining. And we have plenty of leftovers, so we're plating all of our food up. We added some sour cream, and we went to town and pretty much ate the rest of the afternoon. So, and while we watched the game. So, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until we see you on the next video, bye, y'all.